Stepping on the track and yelling, free all of my guys. I'm finna break them out, that's my purpose in this life. Rock solid, virgin tight, all of my alibis. Hands off with the violence, that's for track, B.O.Y.
I don't understand how using the blade of my hand.
So take the blade out. You stuck your hand in his private area,
Right, and I
searched.
told you that's where they hide it.
That's a violation of your...
Okay, so I admit to a violation. Drugs. I found a lot of drugs doing that same method.
Do you know this gentleman could file a federal lawsuit against you?
Yeah, what's up, black people? Welcome to another unlawful arrest prevention video. On this channel, we analyze crowdsourced videos of traffic stops and arrests in order to educate citizens on the ways that law enforcement officers may break legal protocol. Watching videos of traffic stops and arrests helps us see the tactics and tricks that cops most often use to execute the unlawful arrest of a black person. By understanding their strategies, we can develop our own, which allow us to punish them financially later by bringing civil rights lawsuits and winning large payouts. Before we get into this, you need some backstory.
This traffic stop occurs on June 5th, 2019 in Cocoa, Florida, which is a coastal county only a short drive southeast from Orlando. The officer conducting the traffic stop is named Rock Contardi. Before becoming a cop, he was an amateur bodybuilder of some sort. Prior to this incident, Rock had a long list of troubling complaints that were filed against him relating primarily to his behavior during traffic stops. When this video first came out, it went viral, and Rock Contardi was given the nickname Rock the Bodybuilding Cop by many of the YouTube channels that reposted it. But the main reason this video went viral is that the Rock's traffic stop spiraled out of control in a sad and upsetting way. Officer Rock claims to smell weed on the victim and proceeds to illegally search the victim's car looking for some. But the Rock can't find weed anywhere and the victim denies having any. He then handcuffs the victim in order to search his body for the weed. In broad daylight, in a strip mall parking lot, Officer Rock Contardi searches through the victim's underwear, grabbing his private parts before putting on gloves and searching the victim's rectum. To reach in another man's pants and grab his glizzy, and to put a hand up his rectum in search of some weed would lead any reasonable person to conclude Rock isn't looking for weed. He's either trying to gaslight the man into wilding out, an understandable response, in order to either put more charges on him, like violently resisting or assaulting a police officer, or so that the Rock has an excuse to do some more violence to him, like real violence, as in grave bodily trauma. Others have posited the theory that Rock was high on crack or cocaine and was hoping the man had some harder drugs on him so the Rock could confiscate the cocaine and use it. As a later investigation revealed, that may have been the Rock's modus operandus.
I broke this video into two parts. Part 1 is the traffic stop itself, and Part 2 is the audio from an interview in which the Cocoa Police Department's Office of Internal Affairs questions Officer Rock in front of his attorney about his troubling police record and the investigation launched into this particular stop. As you will hear, the Internal Affairs agent says to the Rock straight up, this man could bring a federal lawsuit. After Internal Affairs sent its report to the Florida Criminal Justice Standards and Training Commission, Rock was formally charged with sexual battery and possession of cocaine. He resigned before he could be fired. I didn't know about Cocoa, Florida until I saw this video, but it seems that it sits in a county where police commit misconduct like this regularly.
Before we get into the disclaimer, let me just go over 3 key lessons black people should learn from this video.
The first, outfit your car with interior-exterior cameras and always film every traffic stop. In this case, the victim was lucky that the entire interaction was captured by the officer's body cameras. But most cops who knew they were about to violate someone the way The Rock did would likely either turn off their cameras or find a way to make sure the footage was lost. And most higher-ups at the police department would not want this footage reaching the public anyways, so you should always have the ability to start filming on your own. In fact, in Part 2, when Officer Rock is being questioned by Internal Affairs, he admits that he often forgets to turn his body camera on before conducting a traffic stop. The second lesson, never consent to a search, even under duress. If you have prepared responses to police officers that indicate you are aware of your rights and ready to take legal action, they are less likely to harass you this extremely. If a cop even looks like he's about to search you or your car, you always say out loud and directly,
I do not consent to a search of my vehicle or my person. I do not consent to a search of my vehicle or my person. When cops begin to ask you questions at that point, you can always say, I do not feel comfortable answering questions without a lawyer present. I do not feel comfortable answering questions without a lawyer present.
And third, the cops are more likely to behave this way towards black people with criminal records because they feel they can get away with it. The cops know that if it comes down to a swearing match between a police officer and someone with a criminal record, the jury will always side with the police. However, this is not a reason to allow cops to violate your rights, and regardless of your past, you should file a lawsuit. If you have a criminal record, it's really about finding the right lawyer who sees the case for its facts, irrespective of your personal history.
Now before we get into this video, let's get through the disclaimers. 1. I'm not an attorney. Please contact an attorney if you have an urgent legal matter. If you need help finding an attorney in your area, please submit a claim through unlawfularrestprevention.org and we will do our best to help you find representation. 2. Unlawful arrest prevention and any videos associated with it are not for the criminally minded and are intended to help ensure legal recourse for citizens who become the victims of a civil rights violation. 3. Never, under any circumstances, tell a police officer that you are going to sue him during the course of a traffic stop or arrest.
What's up, Bob? Let me check these windows, man. Did I? Yes. Although I didn't smell weed last. Did I smell weed last time too? Did I smell weed again? Oh no, I do now. Much more pronounced. I'm telling you it is. Roll down the back. I'll do the back too. What do you think the back is? You got a test. Give me your test meter. Test it. You got a test meter you can use? Yeah, they're all different shades, guys. All different shades of tint. It's not a debate. All right, I'm telling you. All right. You got anything legal on you, man? All right, man. I'm gonna ask you to step out, okay? I'm gonna make sure there's no weed in here. But listen, dude.
This is the part where the victim should have stopped answering questions and refused consent to a search of his vehicle. Right here, the Rock says to the victim, I'm gonna need you to step out. I gotta make sure there's no weed in here. At this very instant, the victim should have said, I do not consent to a search of my vehicle or person. If you do not immediately say that, or something almost identical, the cops will use silence as consent. Cops will argue that, even though he didn't explicitly say we had permission to search his vehicle, he also never said we didn't have permission to search his vehicle. Many officers get away with illegal searches just like this. As soon as Officer Rock hinted at a search and said, I'm gonna see if I can find some weed in here, the victim should have began repeating the phrase, I do not consent to a search. And if questioned after that, I do not feel comfortable answering questions without a lawyer present.
I appreciate, honesty. That goes a lot farther. All right? If you got anything in here, tell me now before you step out. I got things to do, right? Do me a favor. Yeah. You smell a black mile, you might smell a legal mile. Black suit right now, let's go. Man, go.
Keep your hands on the car. Keep your hands on the car.
So what you cuffing me for? I'm cuffing you because you're not listening to my orders. I'm telling you to do something.
Because you touched my dick.
Right,
that's why. You grabbed my penis. What the fuck I'm supposed to do? You ain't got to do nothing. That ain't how you search nobody. You invader. Man, I lost some goddamn mind, man.
Nothing in the car, right?
That ain't nothing in there, man.
Walk back to my car. One more time to you, right?
What you put me in the car for?
I'm not putting you in the car, man. I'm just trying to protect your privacy, okay?
Hey, listen,
so you can turn this
you
way.
ain't finna strip, man. Ain't nothing in there.
You got any gloves on you? No, I don't.
And listen, when you get done, I need an apology too, man. Real talk.
Dude,
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I gotta do my job, okay?
Okay. What is it? Contardi?
Contardi.
Okay.
Italian.
I got you. That's crazy. I really want an apology, man, when you get done. That was crazy, bro.
Just hang out with him and check the car. What do you got here?
That was my neck. I just watched
here, put that back.
Go ahead and do what you got to do with you. Come on, put your glove on, do what you got to do real quick, man.
The victim feels angry and violated, as any normal human being would. And out of frustration, he says, go on, do what you gotta do and put your glove on. Even though the victim did not intend this as consent, The cops can use a statement like that as evidence in court that you said it was okay for them to search you. Obviously, a good lawyer would refute this argument by saying the consent was given under duress, and the cop behaved unconstitutionally nevertheless. However, remember to always repeat the phrases, "I do not consent to a search of my vehicle or person," and "I do not feel comfortable answering any more questions without a lawyer present." These phrases can only be interpreted one way. This will at least alert the officers that you know your rights and are acting strategically, which lessens the likelihood that they will continue to try and escalate the situation. Also note that the Rock still hasn't turned on his body camera. This footage is being captured on other officers' body cameras. This is why you need your own cameras. It is also why we have a duty to stop and film when we see another black person being harassed by police in public.
For real, man. You know what?
Take a seat.
I'm staying right here. He told me to stand. I'm gonna stand right here. Ain't got time for this, man. That shit crazy, man. Man grabbing on my dick and shit for no reason. What search is that? Since when did they start that? Huh? Can you tell me that? When did they start that?
Bro, I growing up on these streets, bro.
It
That's
don't
the first
matter where
place
you
you gonna
grew up
hide
at.
your,
That
where
ain't
you
got
gonna hide
nothing
your
to do
dope,
with
bro.
it.
You gonna hide it right in your ball
Since when
sack.
have y'all started grabbing people's dick?
It ain't about grabbing nobody's dick, bro. It's about hiding your shit.
It don't matter, but since when have you started grabbing people's dick, invading their
Ain't
privacy?
nobody trying to do that.
Man, that's what you did.
If you want to go and complain, go complain.
That's what you did.
That's how we do it out here.
This officer right here is not lying. This is how they do it out there. If you Google Cocoa, Florida police and misconduct, you will see many nearly identical claims have been filed against them. And The Rock is not the only officer from Cocoa or its surrounding counties to be charged with some type of sexual misconduct or drug possession in the past few years.
That brings me to a second point. If you want to maximize your settlement, then you should see your lawsuit as having two levels. First, you need to prove that the cop, in this case, Rock Contardi, violated your rights. But then, to win a larger settlement, you also need to prove that the police department knowingly allows its officers to target black people. A cop saying, "That's how we do it out here," as his partner illegally searches you in the worst way possible, is evidence that the entire police department is corrupt or mismanaged.
This would in turn increase the punitive damages that a jury may award you.
Did he have time to stuff it in there?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. I'm sure he did. It's just I don't know how far you want to push it.
Would you feel it or no?
No, I can't really get in there though, man, without going too. They put it right, under their nuts or up their ass. But I'm not 100% confident that it's there, so I'm not trying. I like to find something in here before we went that route.
I mean,
He's smart. He knows.
he's on inmate release status for
Everybody watching can hear The Rock say they hide it behind their nuts and up their ass. The Rock says he wants to find something in the car so he doesn't have to do an anus search. Then the other officer responds to him, he's on inmate release status. I have 2 points to make here. 1. This is why you should have your own interior cameras with audio capability. This footage could have been easily lost or the audio could have been edited. Not only are the cops illegally searching the victim's car, but it was later found that Rock had a serious problem when it came to turning in seized drugs to evidence. The Rock often kept seized drugs from traffic stops in his police car or at his house and quote-unquote forgot to turn them in. If he wanted to plant drugs in his victim's car, it's likely The Rock already had them on hand for such a purpose. 2. I'm going to replay this exchange so you hear exactly what the officers say, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about it.
Right, under their nuts or up their ass. But I'm not 100% confident that it's there, so I'm not trying. I like to find something in here before we went that route.
I mean,
He's smart. He knows.
he's on inmate release status for
Now, as Rock searches the victim's car, he says to another officer, they put it, meaning the weed, under their nuts and up their ass. I'm not 100% confident it's there, meaning in the victim's butt, so I'd like to find something here, meaning in the victim's car, before we went that route, meaning conducting a rectal search. In response to another cop saying something this psychotic, Rock's backup simply responds, well, he's on inmate release status. What this means is that the victim was recently released from prison and has a criminal record of some sort. The victim is home, he is free, and he has finally gotten his license and can drive. This should be a celebratory and happy moment for him and his family. Getting your license back and being able to travel wherever you want is a symbolic achievement after being incarcerated, and people who get free should be able to enjoy their life and new freedom without continued police harassment. The significance of the officer telling The Rock that the victim is on inmate release status in response to The Rock saying he wants to search his rectum is that the other officer is giving this information to The Rock to indicate that he thinks they can get away with it. Cops target the most vulnerable in society, and in ours, a black man with a criminal record is by far the most vulnerable to police misconduct. However, the cops target these people every day, and so they learn things about them. Despite their general lack of intelligence, one thing cops are able to understand is how being institutionalized can affect someone. When you are in prison, you do not only lose the freedom to be wherever you want or to travel, you lose all bodily autonomy. You lose the freedom to make small decisions on a daily basis. You lose the ultimate freedom, that of your control over your own body. This is because in prison, guards, COs, can search your cell at will or just come in and F up all your stuff because they don't like you. They can beat you up, search your body, put extra charges on you, isolate you, all at their own whim. Many of the rights afforded everyday citizens are not extended to prisoners, and the rights prisoners do have are seldom protected or enforced. Prison is a terrible and destructive thing, and that's why this channel hopes to keep as many black people from ending up in prison as possible. I say that to say this: the cops understand prison conditions. They know if the victim was incarcerated recently, he likely dealt with the same abuse daily that they are doing to him now. Cops assume that formerly institutionalized people are less likely to complain when their rights are violated by law enforcement, because that is a normal occurrence within the reality of prison life. They know that since prisoners are searched daily, a recently released individual may be so used to being searched that he won't think of what is happening to him as a gross violation of the Constitution and laws of this land. They assume if they can't arrest him again, he'll at least be happy just to still be free. Unfortunately, many former inmates do not bring lawsuits when their rights are violated for this exact reason. This encourages the cops to continue behaving like this. If you or your family member has a criminal record, never let that stop you from bringing a lawsuit if your rights are violated by the police. If you have a criminal record and this happens to you, then it's simply about finding the right lawyer. Though hard to find, there are lawyers out there who will not judge you for your past and will, as their job requires, focus on the facts of the case only. A good lawyer will never tell you that your criminal record makes the case harder to win and therefore you need to pay him more money. In fact, in a case like this, a good lawyer will not charge you anything and will pay himself no more than approximately 1/3 of whatever settlement he can win for you. A good lawyer knows that in the eyes of the law, the only eyes that matter in a courtroom, whether or not you served time in the past, does not affect your right to the full protections of the U.S. Constitution.
I didn't know you smell that weed. There's a black one sitting right on my door handle, man. That's a poor excuse to search my motherfucking car. I don't even smell like weed. How the hell my car smell like weed? I tell you, bro.
Well, he was at 13%, so.
I guess I can go write him a ticket.
Huh?
So I guess I can go write him a ticket.
How's his license? Good?
Yeah. Everything else is good. Has he got a fuse box on that side?
No. He's got something open here, but I don't smell anything, so.
I don't smell it anymore. Rock.
You know what that means?
Is there a trunk button?
Yeah, I don't smell it anymore either, man. Yeah, I hit it already.
You got it on him.
Yeah, he's got it. So he's gonna have to go in there. Cause I don't smell it anymore in the car either. It ain't back here. It doesn't smell back here. You want me to go in?
I'll go start right.
Hey, but honest to God, too, man, that's not 13% tint. Y'all need it wrong.
It is, brother.
No, it ain't, man.
Okay. All right, listen, your car doesn't really smell like weed anymore.
I know it don't. It's a black and mild. But it don't smell like weed anymore after
after we took you out and I put you over here, man.
I don't even smell like weed, man. I told you that from the get-go. It's a cigar right in my door. But you come grab all of my dick and shit talking about it smell like weed, man. Come on now.
Is it weed flavored?
What you mean? Go hit the cigar yourself, man.
Scented?
Go hit the cigar yourself, man.
Man.
Ain't nothing in there, man.
All right, bro. As long as there ain't,
Damn.
then you just leave him with a ticket.
For what?
Well, for the tent, man.
Man, listen, I'm telling you, my tent is not 13.
Then go contest
How about we go
man.
to the tent place where I got it done at? They don't even tell you it's not 13.
You got some minis in there.
Ain't nothing in there. Probably some change or something. I don't know, man. Now my car don't smell. So what you still searching me for? My car don't smell like weed.
Because you're smelling like weed.
Oh, nah, I smell like weed. How the hell?
You were in your car. I took you out of your car. Your car doesn't smell like weed anymore.
But I smell like weed.
But you smell
that
like
don't make
weed.
no sense. How?
Back up a little bit.
How? What the hell are you doing? So they allowed to do all this? But my car don't smell like weed, but he's still searching me? What is you doing? Ain't nothing in there. Why? Man, listen, man. See what I'm...
Later on, when interviewed by Internal Affairs as part of their investigation, The Rock swears he did not touch the victim's private parts at any point, but we can all see that that's a lie.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Why y'all in my shit, man? What the fuck is wrong with you? There ain't nothing there.
Shut your mouth, okay? I gotta search you to make sure there ain't nothing in here. So stop it.
Exactly. Come on, now. How you like that?
Anything in your ass?
Ain't nothing in there, man. What the fuck wrong with this man, man? I hope your hands smell like ass, too, when you get done. Really? Go ahead. Stick your finger in there. That's right. Hope your hands smell like straight ass.
That's why I got the gloves.
I don't give a fuck. Crazy as fuck, man.
So, dude, did you just smoke it? Look at me.
Man, ain't nobody smoking nothing, man. I told you I smoked the black and mild, man. Exactly what you smelled on the door.
Not a black and mild.
Man, I ain't gotta argue with you, man. My car don't smell. First, my car smelled like weed, but now it don't.
Yeah, because you're out of it.
Come on, man.
All right, do me a favor. Sit down. Sit down and kick your shoes. Kick your shoes off, kid.
None at all, man. Take it off.
Kick them off. Go ahead.
Take it off.
Kick your shoes off.
You got it tight.
Dude, okay?
Take it off, man. You done dug all in
They're
my
not
ass.
tight.
You dug all in my ass. Why you can't take your shoe off? Shit. That don't make no sense. Go ahead, take it off. There you go. There you go. I'll take the other one off.
At this point, The Rock seems to be frantically searching for weed. Most people watching would bet their money does not exist. He is, as they say in the inner city about individuals who have a certain affliction, on a mission. It's as if he fiending. Even the order seems off. First he searched his pants, then his car, then looked under his hat as if the driver were a street magician, then dug in his... I'm just gonna say it. Rock looked like a basehead searching for krills.
You happy?
Yep.
Exactly.
Here. Dude, it's not like I'm trying to catch you with it.
Because you don't make no sense,
it's just
man.
it's illegal, man.
You don't make no sense, man. You said my car smell like weed, now you say it don't. But then you dig all in my ass and grab my dick and shit. How that sound? That don't make no sense.
I'm doing my job.
You ain't doing your job, man. You ain't doing your job, man.
Yeah.
You ain't doing your job, man. You just illegally searched me. That's what you did.
There's no illegal search here.
You just illegally searched me.
Well, then go file a complaint then, okay?
It's petty. Y'all ain't gonna go through.
Oh, they might entertain it.
I ain't got time for that, man. Come on, let me go.
Listen, dude. It's no disrespect, nothing personal.
It is, man. It is.
Stop.
Listen how you played that shit.
I didn't even pull you.
Listen how it don't matter. It don't matter. So why you let the motherfucker who pulled me search me then? Exactly. Come on, man. But my car ain't smell like weed. Oh. I ain't got time.
Don't forget your shoes, all right? Here, stand up.
I ain't got time.
got your
Take them off, man. I got a license, man.
You do. You're right.
Exactly.
You can have it. Okay? Sorry for the inconvenience, man.
You straight? It's all good, bro. Trust me.
Like I said, man, it's nothing
It's
personal.
all good, man.
It's not you, man.
It's all
It's
good.
these other guys out here, dude. That's all.
It's all good.
All right, pick them up. Pick them up. Put your belt on.
Nah, you took it loose, didn't you? Shit. Fuck all that, man.
So you're gonna walk around with your pants falling off?
I want everybody to see what you did. You took my motherfucking belt.
You can stay right by this car here.
That man took the belt loose, got in my ass, grabbed my dick, everything. I ain't with that shit, but he ain't fine. First he said, what car smell like weed? Nah, it don't smell like
Hey, right here. You're not even listening.
Listen, I'm right here with you.
Right, you're too close. Come stand right here by me.
I did what y'all had to do.
That's right. We did what we had to do. All right.
Now I'm gonna go to the tent place and I'm gonna get a thing showing how much I paid and what percent that is, so it can show you your meter wrong. That's what y'all going around here pulling people, putting some bullshit ass.
Dude, look how dark your windows are, man.
How dark it is? It ain't what your meter said. It ain't what your meter said.
And you're a professional. You know how dark the windows can be.
How dark is your tent? Put the meter on your tent. How dark is your tent?
After all this, the Rock finds no drugs, and so the cops write the victim a ticket for his tints being too dark. You are allowed to tint your car. However, recent studies conducted by organizations like the Marshall Project or the Southern Poverty Law Center have confirmed what most people already knew. Stopping a driver for dark tints is one of the most common excuses used by cops who have been found guilty of multiple civil rights violations. So black people, if you have dark tints, make sure they are legal. And if you have a testing kit, keep it with you. Even if your tints are too dark, a cop is not legally or constitutionally allowed to detain you longer than it takes to write the citation. But either way, you should be aware that many cops jump at an opportunity to stop a black person for dark tints and then use it as a pretext to fish for a bigger arrest. Even if the tints are dark but still within the legal limit, the cops can lie and say their tint reader is showing a higher number. As you'll see, Officer Rock does exactly that at one point to justify his stop.
We don't want you seen in the car.
But how dark is it?
Okay, I don't know.
Exactly.
I gotta get my tip meter.
Put your meter on there. Let's see what it reads. I just want to see. It might read 13%.
Okay, it might.
I want to see.
I think it's darker than that.
Y'all lying, man. That's the Subaru ass tint machine y'all got. That shit ain't no goddamn 13. I took to the tent place and got it done.
So you don't think they?
You think they finna put? I wouldn't even put 13 on there. What the fuck I look like? I got a license. What I'm gonna put 13
So
on
what'd you tell them to put on there?
Man, listen, man.
What did you tell them to put on there?
It ain't 13.
Okay, because you can't answer the question.
13.
You guys good?
Yeah. They big good. I don't even look shit. This whole thing was pointless, man. They don't smell like weed.
Whoever you had in there, either you just got done smoking it.
Smell like weed. It's a black and mild on the door. Wet smell. He sat here and said it didn't smell like weed. He walked right up to me. Oh, your car doesn't smell like weed now. After you done ran through my shit.
What's it fix it? 360, 610, right?
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know.
Y'all be acting the same way I'm acting with being baby no products. That shit ain't cool at all, man. I ain't never in my life been searched like that, man. Never. This man stuck his finger in my ass. Never in my life have I been searched like that. Since when do they do that? You tell me. Never in my life, man. You go to prison, they don't even do that shit, man. You go to jail, they don't even search you like that. What the fuck get that man the right to do that shit in the street? That ain't cool at all, for real. Hey, what's his name again? Ricardi, can you write his name? I need to Google him. I need to look him up, man.
Google?
Yeah, I need to look him up.
The front windows, you're at 15%. The front windows are illegal. They got to be at 25%.
I understand what you're saying.
Listen. I'm going to explain to you the ticket. The front windows have to be 25%. It's at 15%. Your back windows are legal. Your front windows are illegal. This is a fix-it ticket. Take care of it within 30 days. Go get it fixed. Otherwise, it's like a $160 ticket for each window.
I appreciate that.
Just go get it fixed, get this signed, and take care of it within 30 days, all right?
No, man, that wasn't called for, man. You said, Ray, you even heard him out your own mouth. He said after he came up to me and said, your car don't smell like weed no more. This man stuck his finger in my ass. That ain't.
You sign right here for me.
What's his name?
Contardi.
Contardi, what? What's his first name? I need his first name, so I need to Google him. For real. I need to Google Contardi.
This is Commander Duval, Cocoa Police Department. Today's date is May 20th. I got a new watch, so 2019. Time is 3:24 p.m. This is regards to IA 19-10-IA. Present in the room is Officer Rock Contardi, along with his representation, Al Betcha from PBA. Rock, will you raise your right hand? Do you swear the statement you just provided, or you will provide, is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay.
Now this is audio of the Cocoa Police Department's Internal Affairs Unit interviewing Rock, who has his attorney present. A complaint has been filed by the victim of this stop, and Internal Affairs has already reviewed the body camera footage. You will hear them openly admit that the victim could bring and win a federal lawsuit. Also, we learned some crazy things about how Officer Rock and others like him behave on the job. In part 2, we listened to the entire interview, so check that video out next. Here's the thing. I don't actually know whether the victim brought a formal lawsuit and was paid any money as relief for what he went through. I tried to research it, and to be honest, the reason it was hard to find out any definitive information about this stop is shocking. I expected it would be easy to find information about a case where a Cocoa police officer was fired and charged with sexual battery since the incident was so egregious. What I found instead is there were far too many complaints to even find this one, in which victims alleged all kinds of similar treatment. In the past 2 years alone, several police officers in this very county and in the surrounding counties have been charged with very similar crimes. There were so many different police abuse allegations to read about that have happened more recently, including many other complaints filed against The Rock himself, that I couldn't find any definitive answers on whether a settlement was paid to the victim of this particular stop. I hope the victim in this case brought a successful lawsuit, but my point is this. While The Rock's behavior was crazy, it is easy to do a little research and find out that there are hundreds of cops just like him currently on the force in that part of Florida. Some of the precautions we talk about, like installing cameras in your car, may seem like unnecessary work, but it isn't, and it is doable. By next year, we plan to offer these services ourselves, but finding a security or IT professional to install a camera system in your car should not be too difficult or expensive. If you are black and live in a place like Cocoa, Florida, or a town nearby or similar to it, then taking these precautions may well be worth it. One thing that costs no money is having prepared responses for the police, so you don't accidentally, for example, say something they can lie and interpret as consent to a search. Check out part 2, and as always, thank you for tuning in to another unlawful arrest prevention video. You can always reach out to us at uap@unlawfularrestprevention.org if you have an attorney to refer to us, or if you need help finding representation in your state, or even if you would just like to submit a video for us to analyze.
I've seen rough times, can't say it enough times. I must preserve the gangster in my bloodline. I be on the front lines, mine like an archive. Sharp knife, dark skies, $500,000 on this hard drive. Penthouse, Parkside, Mo don't even count the bodies he caught in apartheid. Tensions